Hello viewers, you are welcome again to KB Diamond's Edu Consult with Betty Teacher on our Edu Talk. Last week we started with an edition on media nutrition. Today we are continuing on the topic, but our main focus today will be on how do I help my child to overcome this media overdose, or how do I help my child to overcome this media addiction. First and foremost, what we need to do is that we have to set boundary rules. We have to set boundary rules from onset. And I call those boundary rules techno-free zone rules. When we set these techno-free zone rules, it's going to help us, to have a firm grip on whatever rules that we have set in the family, and every member of the family must comply, must obey the rules. There must be a time blackout. A time blackout. When it is time for the blackout, everybody must be off their cell phone or iPad. The use of the devices must also be in an open place. Not when it is time to use your phone or the iPad, you just go and confine yourself into a secret place in the room, you and your phone alone. It must be in the open where everybody is seated. We have to set time limit as well. Remember, in our last series, we're told that children within the age of 2 to 5 should be limited to an hour per screen in a day or the lesser, instead of occupying themselves with video games and all sorts. So there must be, you must set a time limit where, so that everyone will be able to understand that, the screen time we have per day is either an hour or 40 minutes. There must be a drop box or a drop tray. In this drop box or a drop tray, everyone must, as a matter of the rule that has been set in the family, drop your phone, drop your devices on this place when it is time to black out. Another thing we must do as parents is that we must monitor the activities during this screen time, while they are playing, while they are doing their online studies. Because most of the times, some of them may switch off doing something else, switching off to all forms of distraction, not focusing on their studies. As parents, we must, as a rule, make a daily routine timetable. In this daily routine timetable, the children, the teenage that we have, they must know what they should do. Observing their quiet time should be part of the timetable. Observing their practical life experience, that's another talk for another day. Observing their hygiene, taking baths. Having time to do private study, maybe a review of what they have been taught online. You must also get them some educational books to read. There are good story books that children can read, but you must make sure that those story books are appropriate to their age level. You can also make a provision to get them educational game boards like chess, scrabble. So there are so lots of them. And when they engage themselves in this game board, there are game board on letters, there are game board on phonics, there are game boards on numbers, addition and subtraction, division. There are lots of them. You can Google on it on the internet. So they get themselves occupied with this and less of video games or bumping into unnecessary things on the media. there must be a midnight routine check on our children. What do I mean? During the night hour, you can check them in their rooms. Are they sleeping right? Observe. During such check-up time, you may find out that they're browsing. You may find out that they are doing midnight calls, midnight chatting, midnight browsing. At such a time, you put a check on them and they will know that they are violating the family rules. We can also educate them that whenever they are using the earpiece as a medium of maybe listening to music, they have to reduce the frequency that is coming out from those devices because it can affect their hearing. It can impair their hearing. We have to also train them that they must avoid extreme proximity, extreme closeness to the television. And as parents, we can also provide a screen guard on their iPad, a screen guard, perhaps on their phones that you're using, so that the light that is coming out from those devices will not affect their iris, will not affect their eyes, because too much of it may cause the child to have blurriness in vision, and this may affect their reading ability, except for those that are using recommended glasses. But for those that don't have it, we have to make a provision for that to protect them. We have to train them to avoid giving too much information about their private life, about their school, about their day-to-day activities. Predators, thieves, armed robbers, they may monitor such activity and perhaps launch an attack. We should also train our children that they must avoid secret dating with strangers on the internet. They must avoid secret dating with strangers on the internet. As parents, we must devise other means, blocking inappropriate sites where the children can bump into things that could make them to be vulnerable. When we're able to put some of these things into check, we'll be able to help our children, help our teens to overcome media nutrition so that they will not have what I call the media overdose. And if they are able to put all this in check, definitely it's going to help them improve in their studies because they have lesser time spent on these devices and concentrate more even on their studies or focus more on relevant things that has to do with their academics as well. So as parents, we are our children's mirror. We are their role model. And most of the times what we do, they copy from us. As parents, even if as we have set these rules, are we keeping to the rules ourselves or are we violating those rules? So we must be determined. We must be determined that we want to be an intentional parent in our parenting. Until the next time when we have other wonderful edition, please share, subscribe, and like the video.